I commented at the beginning of the meeting about Mr. Wamodang, how do you pronounce his name?
Where
Not
are you
being-
reading, can I ask you where you're reading that from?
What?
That name?
That's it, is that his name? I'm just saying it.
Oh,
Because
okay.
Your CPA,
All right.
okay, his name is Wamerdam or something like that. And I commented at the beginning of the meeting that Pete had recommended him to his new general manager using us as a reference. Now, Wamerdam, and I don't believe Wamerdam is doing this out of ignorance, stupidity, poor accounting. I've been around it too long. You can't be a CPA and not know some degree of what you're doing. Pete just said, he told Wamerdam what numbers to put in our books. That's what I'm saying. Pete can't do that. Not only can't Pete do it, Wamerdam can't do it. This happens to be a cost of goods item that has to follow the revenue. Whether you're counting by government, whether you're accounting, general accounting, you can't do it. You are forcing him to lie to his credibility and to all of the people here and to this board. You cannot do it. That's that $5,000 that jumped up to $11,000.
What page are you on?
Purchase paid too.
It's page 9, next to the bottom item, where it says, purchase water actual MID, and I can't read the last portion of it.
You have no financial controls in this CSD. This place is an absolute disaster. We haven't had a controller in here since 2012, and you're letting the guy that can pick vendors, set prices, buy materials, receive materials, write checks, the same guy to also, he could turn around and tell the accountant what numbers to put in the statement for you to look at. And you guys aren't smart enough to recognize that? You gotta look at this thing. If some money disappears, I can tell you who's gonna be responsible. It's gonna be him, because he's got you signing off on everything. This accounting is a disaster. You take a look at your accounts receivable. Showing accounts receivable, it's absolute bullcrap. You're still showing that your availability is 189,000. You collected 105 of it. You're not even showing the accounts receivable for the drought. Okay? These numbers are a disaster. Besides that 11,000, you show it one time 11,000, you show it another time 5,000.
Thank you, Les.
Kenny, you can kick me off again, but you gotta solve this problem.
Thank you.
It's going to cost you a mint. It's going to cost us a mint.
Any other public comments? If not, I will call for a vote on the approval of the resolution, items A through D. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. We have one absentee vote of Mr. Ross. The next item on the agenda is, a lot of these are discussion items. We're going to start with item 5A, adoption of a resolution approving agreement with Campa Community Services for the general management services. We're going to be starting on page 26. This item, pages 26 through 33.
Mr. President, I just, the thing that I need to do is I need to let you know that this proposal is submitted from my firm for the services of managing the district. It is submitted as it is. The board can accept it, address it, modify it, however you want to go about it, but I can't be part of the discussion.
That's fine. That's fine.
So I should remove myself from my table.
Okay.
and I'll probably, just to make it easy, remove myself from the room, unless, you know, you think that you can find me in the office.
Okay.
But I'll walk around for a bit in case.
All right.
Anyway, it is a potential conflict of interest. It's the weirdest thing. Okay.
Dan, can I ask a simple question?
Sure.
Last year, we talked about the air conditioning in this place, about having them having them put, all you have is 2 vents on this side, you have nothing on that side, and we were talking about it last year, about getting it fixed. Well, I sure wish you'd do something, because it's hot in here.
We priced it, it was very extreme, we didn't work it into the budget, we hope to at another time, but it was really costly. And the room wasn't very hot this morning, so I didn't turn it on. I have it on now. But this door has to stay open in order for it to come through, and it takes quite a few hours to get it cooled down, because we can't leave it continue to run, because it's an old system. And if we let it continue to run, then it won't run. Then we can't hear the meeting. Yeah, we looked into all those options, and I think it's like down the road, it wasn't a priority with the drought and all the things, so hopefully next time I'll just turn it on sooner.
A couple times I brought that, but it's a former operating band.
Yeah, the problem is you don't hear the recordings, and it's really important to hear them.
The item we're up for right now is,
And I also can't hear the recording because we have to watch it.
okay. Could we ask you please to kind of refrain from your comments out there in the audience? Okay. The item on the agenda right now is Pete has been operating since, I'll say October, and I'm just gonna round dates, October of 2014 as our interim general manager. And the contract was put together, we got him real quick, and we haven't updated or made him the permanent general manager here. If you read the contract, he's on a 30-day, I'll say 30-day, no, it's kind of like month-to-month rent is really what we're doing here. It has been cost-effective for us because we have no benefits and no other exposures for him. So we have to determine at this time if we want to go ahead and go through with this contract, renew it, or we have the opportunity to terminate him as well. I mean, that's the board's, because he works for the board. I went through the contract. For me, I can't, I'm going to say right now, I can't approve the contract as it states today because I have a lot of questions. I want to have a meeting where we can sit down and talk, because I have a lot of questions about what's in here. Plus, the last time we hired Mr. Campo, we also went through our attorney to have him review it. So before I would approve this contract, I wanted to go through our attorney, and I'm sure, I'm speaking for myself, not for the board, let's make sure I clarify that we've reviewed it and that we're putting the district in the best possible position. The one thing I like is it's a 30-day, month-to-month contract. I have, as a board member, and that's what I'm speaking as today, I have no problem making Pete the general manager and retaining the existing contract until we can meet and go through this in more detail and more time, because it's already 3 today. I think we need to spend some really time and thought process on what we put in here as far as establishing the expectations of what we want.
Can we go ahead and do that, have this sent to an attorney before we go any further, and just have that done?
I would like to have some questions answered. There's a lot of stuff in here that personally I don't see eye to eye with.
Okay.
So I would like us to sit down and have a special meeting of sorts to discuss what we want to see. And then once we've hammered out the agreement between Pete, if we decide to move forward,
Okay.
then we send it to the attorney.
Yes.
I think we're putting the cart before the horse if we send this document.
No, I don't want to say
the
that. I'm not saying send this to the attorney. I think it needs to be
We need to modify
modified
it.
and have our input. And maybe what I would suggest is we have an ad hoc committee. We could form an ad hoc committee to address this contract in particular. I'm getting the deer in the headlights.
Well, I see two issues. One is just calling an interim or general manager.
We can
And
agree.
I don't see that requires a new contract. I
No.
don't mean that's necessary.
We
So
can-
I have no problem with immediately calling him general manager, but let's put
Right.
the
Again,
contract.
there's two issues here. We can change, we can agree here collectively that we're gonna take the word interim out of his title if we would like to.
I'd like to do that.
And we can make that and move forward. But as far as the contract, I gave you my spiel. Are you comfortable with the contract, or would you like to dive into it deeper?
It's, supposedly it has no changes from the existing contract, which our attorney did look at.
There are some changes.
There are changes.
There are changes.
There are changes.
Yes.
If that's the case, then let's
Okay.
take a hard look at it.
Yeah, but I think we can all do this together rather than create an ad hoc. I think that's something we
Then
should
that,
all do.
okay, then that's a special meeting.
Yes.
So, help guide me, Cindy.
Well, if Pete needs to recuse himself, you can't get the answers, but he could probably meet with a committee and answer some of those questions. I really think a committee might be more the way to go,
That's what I was thinking.
just to get the answers to bring back to the board, and then the board can collectively make a decision.
So
Because
just,
he does have to recuse himself.
okay, so to operate under the Brown Act committee, to operate, say, make sure we stay within our legal bounds, we could send our questions directly to Pete individually, and then collectively, who's ever on that ad hoc committee, they could take their questions. So who's ever not on the ad hoc committee could then send their questions independently, which would be included in the overall discussion, and then the individuals could bring back a recommendation.
To the board.
Okay, all right, are you comfortable with that?
Sure.
Okay,
I'm comfortable with that.
Jim, I haven't got you for comments.
Absolutely. I think that's the direction we need to go. Everybody can give the input as long as we're not firing those questions
Danny, I
out to
think
the
that
entire
you're real
board.
quiet for the tape. I am so sorry to be rude. I'm not trying to be rude, but I can't hear it, and they're
Okay.
making some decisions.
Okay, Jim, you want to repeat your comments?
Yeah,
please?
I think definitely an ad hoc committee, just based on what Cindy says.
Okay.
We have to go that direction. There are too many questions and too much stuff in here that I need answers to.
Okay,
I can't vote on this.
all right,
So you can.
let me make a motion,
You can actually do the committee by consensus,
okay?
that you're going to create a committee and then, instead of a vote, either one.
Well, I have two, okay, and I don't know if we have to incorporate, so I'll look for you to help guide me. My motion would be to make Pete remove the term of interim, and make him the general manager, utilizing our existing contract as written in October of 2014, with no changes at this point in time. And we would then form an ad hoc committee to review the contract and bring it back to the board at a later date. Thank you.
I'll second that.
Okay.
I have a question first. I'm missing something here, because I don't understand what the purpose would be of dropping the interim.
It's just
What does that change?
nothing, really. He's still doing the same job. It just makes him the general manager. He's still under the same contract, month to month, 30
It
days.
seems like some unneeded
The
paperwork.
board initiated this whole thing, but somebody's.
When we hired him, you usually hire somebody as an interim general manager.
When was he interim?
He's been interim since hired.
No. When was he actually an interim general manager?